Welcome to the Deep Dive. We dig into the stories you send us to find the insights that matter. Today, we're looking at quite an extraordinary human experiment, really. It tackles this huge question about career, about purpose. Imagine this. You graduate college, you're the valedictorian, perfect 4.0 GPA.
Impressive stuff.
Totally.
Yeah.
And yet, you feel completely lost about what comes next.
That's Sean Aiken. That's exactly where he found himself.
So what did he do? He launched this, well, frankly, wild year-long quest, 52 different jobs in 52 weeks, traveling all across North America. It really makes you think, can you actually find your passion, avoid that life of just routine by diving headfirst into basically every job you can find?
Yeah, what happens when the path just isn't clear?
Exactly.
Sean's situation is just so relatable, isn't it? I mean, so many graduates feel that huge pressure, find the right job, but they often don't really know what clicks for them, what truly resonates. His whole quest felt deeply personal. He was driven by this powerful desire to avoid, I think he called it a life without passion. It's a feeling, I think, well, a lot of us have probably grappled with at some point. And what's really amazing is that this whole massive journey, it was sparked by advice from his dad.
Oh, yeah.
His father, who'd immigrated to Canada, told him something simple but profound. It doesn't matter what you do, just make sure it's something you're passionate about.
Wow.
And that one statement just became the catalyst, for this totally unconventional approach.
And what an adventure it turned out to be.
Mm.
So in this deep dive, we're going to unpack all of it. The surprising insights, the genuinely funny moments, too.
Well, there were definitely some of those.
The difficult truths and the really transformative experiences Sean had. We'll look at how he dealt with skepticism, how he built these unexpected connections, and ultimately how he kind of redefined passion and success for himself.
It's a journey packed with lessons, really, about finding your own way.
So Chef described feeling totally ready to be done with school. Graduation day comes, but then what? He said he had no idea what this something was that should come next. His whole life, it had always been organized for him. Advisors picked courses, teachers set the deadlines.
The focus was all on grades, right? External validation.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Not necessarily on genuine learning or figuring himself out. So when that structure just vanished, poof, he felt completely adrift.
Yeah, that's such a common feeling, isn't it? Being unmoored when the rails of education disappear. For Sean, that feeling, combined with this deep aversion he had to a predictable, maybe unfulfilling 9-to-5 future, well, it really pushed him towards something radical.
He needed a shakeup.
Definitely. His initial travels, they were almost like a coping mechanism, maybe an avoidance, as he put it. But they also turned into this period of important self-discovery. You started appreciating the small things, getting comfortable with being uncomfortable.
And it was during that time that the one-week job project idea emerged.
A big idea.
Yeah, and the concept was actually incredibly simple. Any person, any company could offer him a job for just 1 week.
Anywhere in North America.
He'd work the job, blog about it, share his experiences, and this is key, designate all his wages to the one campaign.
Fighting extreme poverty. So there was a purpose built right in from the start.
Absolutely. And the adventure
Yeah.
started dramatically. His very first job. Bungee jump master.
You're kidding?
Nope. Whistler, British Columbia. He paints this vivid picture. The countdown, 4, 3, 2, his toes just creeping over the edge of this bridge, staring down 160 feet to this rushing river, the wind, the harness tugging, pure adrenaline.
I can almost feel it.
And his jump master, a guy named Matt, gave him this piece of advice that basically became his mantra for the whole year.
What was
You
it?
can't overthink it. You just gotta jump.
Wow, you just got to jump. That advice, it clearly echoed way beyond that bungee cord, didn't it?
For sure.
It became this powerful metaphor for the whole year, the whole project. He had to keep taking these leaps, professionally, personally, into the total unknown, despite all the uncertainty he felt.
Keep jumping.
Yeah, a conscious act of stepping off that comfortable ledge again and again, week after week. And right from that first jump, the project threw Sean into this incredible kaleidoscope of jobs.
Yeah, the range was amazing.
He went from super physically demanding stuff, dairy farmer, firefighter, to really creatively challenging roles,
Oh, yeah.
like being a florist or working in advertising.
Wow.
That sheer variety, it really highlights just how vast the world of work is.
That's right.
And how many different experiences are out there that we often overlook.
Absolutely. Though, not everyone got it right away. He faced a fair bit of skepticism early on.
I bet.
Like this Vancouver radio host, Bill, he had this tone like, can you believe this guy called the whole idea so wacky?
Wacky. Why?
Bill just couldn't get his head around why Schiller wouldn't just want, quote, one decent job.
Ah, the decent job trap.
Right. And Sean's internal reaction to Bill really nails his motivation. He thought far more wacky is the number of people who get out of bed in the morning and absolutely dread going to work because they hate their jobs.
That's powerful. He was determined not to be one of them.
Exactly. But, some jobs genuinely surprised him, challenged his own assumptions.
Like what?
Well, he spent a week as a snowshoe guide up on Mount Seymour. He met this guy, Gary, who used to be a software developer.
Okay.
Total career change. And Sean wrote, I never thought I'd be someone to work outdoors, but now that I've experienced it, I can understand why many who do never go back to an office environment.
Ah, so a real shift in perspective for him.
Huge shift for someone who probably equated real jobs with, sitting behind a desk.
It's fascinating how those early experiences just started chipping away at his preconceptions, right?
Yeah.
About what worthwhile work even means.
Yeah.
He began to grasp that the environment, the connection you feel, the people around you, that can be way more important than the job title.
Yeah, feeling good about your work isn't just the paycheck.
Not at all.
He also found some unexpected talents and anxieties. Week 5, he was a florist.
A florist.
Yeah, at Best Bud's Flower Company. He actually discovered he had this creative side, enjoyed arranging flowers. But he also got really anxious over what he called simple decisions, like putting together a bouquet.
Huh. Easier to jump off a bridge than choose a flower.
Apparently. He said it was easier to plan a spontaneous road trip than pick a dinner spot.
Ah, okay.
And that week, that's also when the media attention really started to blow up. TV, radio, online.
Right. And that external validation, that sudden media storm, it started to create this whole new dynamic for him, didn't it?
Just so.
Well, he started questioning how it would impact my experience. It shines a light on that internal struggle, trying to stay true to your personal quest while managing this sudden public spotlight.
Adds another layer of pressure.
Exactly. It complicates things.
And yeah, look, not all the jobs were glamorous. Not by a long shot. He spent a week as a cattail picker.
A what?
Cattail picker in a smelly swamp near Montreal. He found that one pretty unfulfilling.
I can imagine. Sounds damp.
And smelly. But even in those less than ideal weeks, his best friend, Ian, actually joined him on the road for a bit.
Support crew.
Totally. And he describes their friendship as almost telepathic. This great banter where, a single remark taps a catalog of archived conversations, and Ian knows exactly what I mean.
That's brilliant. Having that connection must have been crucial.
Huge.
It's such a powerful point about human connection, isn't it? Even in the most tedious or, frankly, smelly jobs, having strong relationships can ground you, make the whole thing worthwhile. The fact that Ian quit his own job just to join Sean for a couple of weeks.
Wow, really?
Yeah, it just shows how deep that bond was. Connection elevates everything.
The journey also put him face to face with some amazing entrepreneurial types.
Yeah.
Ian, for instance, not his friend Ian, a different one, the guy who invented the FIFO bottle. You know, those ketchup dispensers?
The upside down ones, yeah. First in, first out. Clever.
That guy. He really hammered home the idea of overcoming fear. He asked Sean, what would you do if you weren't afraid?
Oof. Big question.
Right. And then there was Matt, co-founder of Snort Tees, the t-shirt company. His advice was more practical. Break down those huge visions into small, achievable steps.
That's solid advice. Avoid the overwhelm. And these aren't just, business cliches, are they? That what if you weren't afraid? Question hits right at the core of career paralysis for so many people.
Yeah, the fear of making the wrong choice.
Exactly. And the small steps idea is just a practical antidote to feeling overwhelmed when you're facing a massive life change or some ambitious goal.
It's about taking action.
Yes. For anyone listening, it's about empowering that action, that persistent effort, not just waiting for some grand idea to magically appear.
But then there were the really tough weeks.
Ah, the flip side.
Definitely. His week as a film festival reporter for Roots in Toronto. Sounds cool, right?
Sounds glamorous.
It was one of his hardest. He had this boss, Richard, who was just constantly critical, made him feel lazy, exploited.
Oh, that's... Oh.
Sean realized, it's amazing how it can take only one person to ruin things, especially if that person is in a position of authority.
So true. Bad leadership is toxic.
The tension got so bad that Richard gave him tickets to film a concert, and Sean he scalped them, sold them, and went himself.
Oh, seriously?
Yep. Just decided he'd had enough.
That anecdote just slams home how critical leadership and just basic communication are for job satisfaction, doesn't it? Doesn't matter how cool the job sounds on paper.
Right.
And Sean's decision to defy him and then making that vow to himself to never make someone else feel less important, that feels like a really significant moment of self-assertion, a hard lesson learned about boundaries.
Yeah, a turning point. But maybe the biggest turning point came in New York City.
Okay, what happened there?
He was working as a photographer, and this is when the media thing just exploded. CNN, the New York Times, Good Morning America.
Yeah.
It was overwhelming.
Wow, the big leaks.
Totally. And Sean admits, somewhere in the midst of all the noise, I'd gotten away from my original intentions. He got so caught up in the media circus.
That he forgot the actual job.
Pretty much. He neglected his photography tasks, and his employer for the week, James, was understandably disappointed.
Oh no, that must have hit hard. Yeah, that sounds like a huge aha moment, or maybe an uh-oh moment.
Definitely. He described breaking down right there on a New York street. I pulled my scarf over my head, looked down to the pavement, put my hands to my face, and bawled.
Wow. Just completely overwhelmed. Showed him lost touch, right? With his initial reason for setting out on this journey, it's such a powerful warning about the danger of letting external validation, that applause, drown out your internal purpose.
A trap anyone can fall into, really.
Absolutely. Especially when your work gets public attention. You realize you can't outrun yourself no matter how many miles you cover.
And speaking of personal stuff, his relationships, especially with his girlfriend, Dana, became this really critical and sometimes difficult part of the whole year.
Long distance is tough at the best of times.
For sure. And their visits were so sporadic, it created this kind of fantasy world, he said. But there were deep moments, too, like by this wooden bridge where she told him, Sean, I love you.
Adds another layer of emotional intensity to the whole thing. It makes you think, though, how did that intense, constantly shifting structure of the project affect his personal life? I mean, it was amazing for professional growth, sure, but the pressure.
Immense, I bet.
Yeah. It forced him to really confront things, like whether he was in love with the idea of being in love or truly committed to making it work amidst all that change and distance.
That classic conflict between career ambition and personal life.
Finding that balance, always tricky.
But a theme that kept coming up again and again was the importance of people and purpose at work.
Okay.
At Steam Whistle Brewing, for example, he said the employees felt like a real family. That close-knit, family-like work environment was a huge part of their success, he felt.
Community matters.
Definitely. And then at the Princess Margaret Hospital Foundation, he saw people driven by this deep personal connection to the cause. They felt they were genuinely making a difference.
That really backs up the idea that job satisfaction, true satisfaction, often comes from feeling connected, right? To a cause, to a community, not just the tasks you do day to day.
Exactly.
Remember Ken, the preschool teacher he worked with?
Yeah.
Ken put it so powerfully. We're poor in our pockets, yet rich in our hearts. He emphasized how that happiness, that fulfillment, it trickles down from the individual to their family. It's a different kind of wealth.
A richer kind, maybe? He even found that sense of camaraderie in places you might not expect.
Like where?
With the firefighters down in Fort Walton Beach, he was struck by their integrity, a great sense of what is right, and this incredible brotherhood of fire service that bound them together.
Wow. Intense environment.
Totally.
Yeah.
And even in the superstructured world of the military, he spent a week as an Air Force recruit. Colonel Hood showed him the huge diversity of roles available and how you could still get the most out of life within that system.
That really challenges our assumptions, doesn't it?
Yeah.
About where deep connections and that sense of belonging can actually form.
Yeah, it's not just one type of workplace.
It suggests almost any environment, if it demands teamwork, shared purpose, integrity, it can foster that community feel. It really comes down to the human element wherever you are.
So after trying 52 different jobs, tasting all these different lives, what did Sean figure out about his own passion? Did he pick one?
That's the million-dollar question, right?
And the answer was surprising. It wasn't a specific job.
No?
No, it was broader. He said, I discovered that my passion is to explore.
Ah, interesting.
He realized the project itself, the whole one-week job structure, that was a vehicle to fulfill our passion. It let him try new things, travel, meet people, learn constantly.
All while making a positive impact with the donations.
Exactly.
That's such a profound realization for him, and maybe a really powerful lesson for all of us listening. It suggests that maybe a career is just, well, a vehicle for some deeper passion or value we hold.
Like exploration or connection or learning.
Right. It challenges that pressure we often feel to find the one perfect job. Maybe it opens the door to a more expansive way of thinking about work, one that might involve different roles over time or finding a common thread through diverse experiences.
And speaking of time, Heather, an association executive he worked with, offered this really insightful perspective.
What was that?
She noted how Sean's life that year was organized in weeks, which is unusual. Most people think in years.
True.
And she cautioned him, and us really, against focusing so much on the future that we neglect the present. She even quoted John Lennon. Life is what happens to you while you're busy making other plans.
Ooh, classic. And so true.
It's about being here, engaged with whatever you're doing right now.
That's such a crucial point about balance. Real fulfillment, it often lies right there, doesn't it? In actively engaging with the present, making the most of each week, rather than just waiting for the years to magically bring happiness later.
Your life is happening now.
Exactly. In the experiences you choose, the connections you make today.
So let's wrap this up. 52 weeks. 46,685 miles traveled. That's like twice around the Earth.
Wow.
Countless people, countless jobs. What's the big takeaway from Sean Aiken's incredible deep dive for you listening right now?
Well, I think Sean's journey really teaches us that it is genuinely okay not to have all the answers about your career path. It's okay to feel lost sometimes.
That's reassuring.
But also, and this is the crucial part, as he said later when he started doing motivational speaking, it's okay not to know, but at the same time, it's not okay to do nothing about it.
Action is key.
Yes. It's about embracing that curiosity, being proactive, staying open to every experience, even, the smelly ones picking cattails in a swamp.
Right. His story is just such a powerful reminder that, honestly, the belief that you can have a meaningful career is the first step to finding one. It's really a testament to the idea that the process itself, the exploration, the relationships you build, the lessons you learn, good and bad, that's what makes a career and maybe a life truly amazing.
It's not just the destination.
It's every single week of that journey.
So as you think about Sean's adventure, maybe consider this.
Yeah.
What's one small, proactive step you could take this week? Maybe explore a tiny new interest, challenge an old assumption you have about what work has to be, or just try to be a little more present, more engaged in whatever you're doing right now.
What might your next one-week job, literal or metaphorical, reveal about your passion?